All right, guys, I guess you can see me. It is 6 in the morning here. I have been up since 3. The old insomnia has kicked in. And talk about a weird couple of days, man. A lot of stuff come full circle. But first of all, as you can see by the title, this is a support the comic book community tag video. From what I understand, it was started by Undisputed Frost. When I woke up with my insomnia and decided I was going to be staying up, I had a message from the legend that he had tagged me, so I watched most of his video. Tried to go back to sleep, wasn't happening. And so right away to get the tags out of the way, because I have no idea how long I'm going to be talking. Guys, I want to be tagging. I'm going to be tagging Dr. Silver Age, okay? I'll be tagging Steve Ogden, right? Guys, still relatively new to the community. Go check him out, man. Give him a sub. Steve has been part of the community as a viewer and commenter and stuff. I'm thinking as far back as 2012 that I can recall. And just a couple months ago, he finally got in there and started making some videos, which are outstanding and stuff. And then got to go with got to go with Comic Quarter 410, man. So anyway, I didn't watch a lot of videos on what support the community tags, what's expected out of them, but not really a big deal, man. So I think I'll just talk a little bit about community and stuff, right? The comic book community is something that I really think, after being part of it for 7 years, just a few hiatuses, if you will, here and there and stuff, that I really think it'd be one of those things that I wish somebody could get in there and actually make like some sort of documentary about. There's all sorts of communities on YouTube, but the comic book community there for a long time really had a reputation of being really different than other other communities on YouTube for quite a while. And basically, it was because people were blown away at how nice and how welcoming we were. I'm not saying that's not still there, but hey, what's up, Gretzky? But what we were, but it was really different back in the day. And just to give you a sense, I'm gonna give you like a quick history lesson, man. And we're talking Cliff Notes, right? Um, I probably would have started making YouTube videos sooner, but honestly, up until about 2008, 2009, it was dial up. So if I did get on YouTube, it was to listen to music or look for old clips of I don't know, just weird things. If you know the history of YouTube itself, man, it used to be more viral videos and stuff like shoes and Mentos and Pepsi, things that YouTube was even more special back then. So to watch these videos, you really had to have a lot of patience because it was dial-up. It moved about 2009, and out of the area, and as the internet was growing and people were catching up with technology, depending where you lived and stuff, it was cable. You would get it through cable. It was probably around 2010, 2009, 2010. I was actually really able to watch YouTube a lot better. But at the time, I had a tabletop computer and no camera, and things were still going. And you could actually go out and you could actually buy these. I don't know what they were called, but they were just like little square cameras and stuff that were specifically made just to shoot like a little 5 to 10 minute video for YouTube. So I ended up moving and stuff. Technology started catching up with everything. Got a hold of a laptop computer and was living with somebody and put all my comic books in a closet. And it was just you didn't have I didn't have all this spread out and stuff, right? And decided to make a video for one video equals one long box, so I didn't have to like pull everything out. I could just reference the video. Found out there was people that watched comic book channels. There was comic book channels out there, and it was very small. From what I understand, and I've always understood and never been corrected, it started with Captain Strangelove, okay, the Godfather of the comic book community, and then you had people out there. The community was very small. I always considered it 75 to 80 people, include that's viewers, uh, regularly commenting and stuff like that, and people making videos. It was real tight knit. Everybody knew each other. And then you had people who sort of were really close behind Strangelove. Constant Bromstar, Gene Paul Ace Peter, who's still around, CTC Spirit, Dakin Howlett, who's still around. Um, there's guys you probably never heard of anymore because they've been gone so long. Kekta 88 and things like that. What's up? I'm super late. I just got started, man. I got insomnia there, Frost. So anyway, I kind of came in like in the between the first wave and the second wave, right? Because Strange Life, Bromstar, somebody, it was Strange Life was the big guy who saw my videos and me just showing the boxes of comics going through them, and then got on my feet and stuff, and then a wave of people came in behind that, right? Now by 2012, we were actually sort of kind of blowing up. There were the original comic book roundtable, and followed maybe about a year later with Constant Bromstar. I don't know if he's still around. Constant Bromstar and I actually did one of the things that I'm the most proudest of, not even just on YouTube, but like one of the things that I was able to ever participate in. He and I had one show. He had it on his channel, which I wish those videos could still be brought back up because they were outstanding. I'm not tooting my own horn or his horn. It was actually a really good show. It was organically came together. People requested that they wanted us together because Bromstar and I had this thing that when we did live shows or videos, we'd already have sometimes the same books or the same characters and stuff. We really had this thing where we were just on the same page constantly. And it was called Finally Designed. And we would take a topic. We did a whole show about an hour long on heavy metal, a whole show on post-apocalyptic books. We would get a theme, and it was just us bouncing back and forth and whipping out comics. And quite a few times we would have the same comic. It was really outstanding. Around that time, as our community was gaining this little bit of a reputation for people who did find us. We weren't exactly like a clique, but we just didn't make a lot of noise for people to really notice us and stuff. We were here for the comics. We would make videos where we referenced each other. We would make videos bouncing off of what somebody said, and every now and then there would be videos where we would be picking on each other. It really was just a bunch of guys. You might as well have just been in a bar, talking shit, shooting pool. So I had this X-Men sketch cover I couldn't get rid of. Community, we're all hanging on the community and through all this stuff. So the X-Men sketch cover I put out, let's all draw on a cover and we'll mail it out everywhere, and everybody can make a video showing how they've got that, that they have the comic, they've drawn their picture on it, and who they're mailing it to next. And you had a list in the envelope, and you mark off everybody, I organized it. Everybody sent me their addresses, and I made the list and put it in the envelope. So we ended up coming up with this. This thing went all across Canada. This thing went all across America, and this thing went all the way to Ireland before it came back to me. I didn't draw on it because there was really no space for me. So everything you see there, every character, every drawing is by one member of the community, from across the continent and over the Atlantic, which was just fantastic. Then we had people coming in and popping up that just were amazing. Every now and then we would have, oh, I hope that's not breaking up. Every now and then we would actually have somebody who works in comics would be watching a video. They knew about us, right? I've had Michael Avon Oming pop up in a video when I was talking about powers, and that one sucks because I shoot from the hip with these things. I don't do them by a script. But I just got through saying that people thought he had a Bruce Timm style of drawing on a comic book called Powers. And I said the kids weren't digging it, but I was wanting to follow through with after they read the book and they got used to his style that it was awesome. So he left a comment like, gee, thanks a lot, because I didn't finish the thought. He just heard me say, hey, kids weren't digging it. I was like, damn it. I've had Kevin Rubio comment on my Tag and Bink is Dead video from like 2013 or something. And I think Gail Simone checked out one of our comic book roundtables back in the day. They would pop up. They knew about us. And now, I don't know if it's, I don't doubt it's connected at all. Don't get me wrong. But now you have Ethan Van Sciver making videos. And actually, I watched his stream last night when I was falling asleep. And he gave this community one of the biggest compliments I've ever seen. I know he doesn't go way back with us, and I know what channel he's talking about today. But he was talking about how things like Comic Book News is dead. He specifically said Newsarama and Comic Book Resources are just dead sites. Wizard Magazine is gone. And then here's the compliment. He said that we are the comic book community with our reviews and stuff. are the, we're the new influences. We're the new, I guess, news sources, and we're honest and we're uncorrupted and stuff, and that's why he enjoys it. Now I know he probably has just a few channels he watches and stuff, but I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, so we had more people coming in here, right? They would find us, they want to be part of the conversation, they would come in. And Why Not Art sat there and he watched people's videos. Hey, what's up, guys? So he sat here and Why Not Art ended up drawing this. Go check out his channel. I haven't heard from him in a while. This is from 2012 also. And he watched the videos of these YouTubers. He knew who our favorite characters were, and he put us in costume. There I am as Starman, Constant Bromstar as Nightcrawler, Captain Strangelove as Spider-Man. Was that Hulk's big toe as the Hulk, I think? Oh man, what was his name? Yeah. A lot of these guys are around, Judo Master Dakin Howlett. And Dakin Howlett is actually, he used to compete in judo challenges, fights, and stuff. Of course, there's Hippies Collectibles as Captain America. And some other guys that don't make Curvis Man as Thor. And it's killing me. I can't remember who's Daredevil here, man, because I love that guy. He was up in Northern Virginia. So this is what I'm saying. He made the print. He sent it to everybody. And it was really, really a good community. Yep, Right Now Art is still around. I just haven't heard from him in a while. I'd get a message from him every now and then and a little comment and stuff. Good guy. Good guy. Try to hook up with him a little bit here and there while he would travel back and forth to see family like in Carolina and Florida or something. I should have been Booster Gold. Oh, you're just trying to piss me off there, man. All right. So that's the thing about this community. Now it's going to get a little bit real because the community on the YouTube thing has been around for quite a while, and I've watched it change. I've watched waves of people coming in. To the point where, like, probably like the last 2 years, I've been more of an observer than I ever have been before. It's just sort of wild for this to just kind of watch what happens. How do you feel about channels becoming stuck in a rut with roasting Marvel? I personally moved on to comics I enjoy, and it's hard to find positive channels on comics that aren't shill videos. That was a guy, William. I can't stand how these comments disappear, so I can do landscaping here. How do I feel about these channels? I actually did a video real quick a few months ago. I actually did a video a few months ago. And unfortunately, with the comic scene that is going on now, these channels are needed. It's up to them for the quality, the intensity, the frequency. It's their channels. They have a responsibility on keeping an integrity with it or whatever, keep it on track. Hey, a viewer from Philippines. Hey, nice to see you. When it pops back up, I'll share your name. That is so cool. The Philippines. That's awesome. So, but with these channels and stuff, I check them out every now and then. But it's like I said, a lot of it's the same thing over and over. We know the tag words, we say the tagline and stuff. I made my 4 videos about Marvel last year, and every now and then I'll pop up and have something to say. But uh, you know, it's like anything else on YouTube. It's up to them to maintain their channel and decide, is this the direction they want it to go. And every now and then they do call out some stuff that needs to be called out in honesty and inform people. There's also, to me, as a viewer, it's all about how much are you going to watch and what are you interested in. It's one thing to be tired of these channels, which is your right, in my right. Um, Aether Prime, is that how we say that? He's from the Philippines. Willing, okay, they're talking amongst themselves. Sorry. So yeah, with those channels, I don't watch them very often, but I do check out to see if there's anything going on, that I may have missed. Unfortunately, some of that stuff I'm usually already aware of. That's what's going on. So get back to the community and what I'm talking about and stuff like that. This community, I think, has probably been around 8, maybe 9 years, if I knew right. And amazingly enough, it's really wild how something that started as a YouTube channel that I did on the side, that with millions of videos and thousands of channels on it, and it's probably more than that by now and stuff. where the community takes you and how it puts you in the path of each other and how you can find the comic book collectors and stuff that you didn't know were out there, you know. So that's one of the things that's always amazed me. When people stop and think, if you really think about it, if you go to comic book conventions and if you watch people outside of, when you know these people on YouTube, sometimes you end up on Facebook with them, Twitter, and they'll put up pictures and stuff. But we're all connected through one degree of separation by going to these cons and stuff, right? There's tons of us that have met Neil Adams or other comic book collectors and stuff, and they'll put up pictures and stuff, and they'll be in Arizona, New Jersey, New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, and all kinds of places. And I'll sit there and I'll see these pictures, and I'll be like, Hippie's got a picture with him, and so's got a picture with him, and I've met him, and all this stuff. And that comic book collector has no idea he's met people from across the country that know each other, and that's one of the kind of things that gives you this psychological idea that we're all connected. Oh, and okay, thanks, Ether Prime. Ether Prime likes my indie books. I appreciate that, man. So the community brings a lot to the table, at least for me. It let me meet a lot of people. I've actually gone to flea markets and conventions where people have recognized me, and that always blows my mind. And as years went by, the community got really big, broke in half, you know, got shattered. People actually thought this was the demise. I actually had a message saying that as a community, we're in the seventh circle of hell. People were really stressing out um, the community might be dissolving because of infighting and things going on behind the scenes and stuff. And it came down to personality. We can all have something in common like comics and stuff, and but it got so big it just kind of broke under its own weight. And every now and then I would make a video mentioning community or observing what I was seeing and stuff. And then we had the Gamergate thing where we had a flood of people who were just sick of video games and the video games were sucking and they wanted something else to get into, and they came here and started trying to do comic book videos. And of course, they were welcome, they were nice, but that was the problem. They tried to come with the same sense of drama and etiquette that community had. And when they got here, you have no idea the flood of comments and messages I got. Um, I was a bit more popular in the community at the time and stuff like that. Flooded messages I got where it was like they were talking about how different it was and how they felt like they might have offended someone. They didn't. This community is completely different. So I've always had feedback sent to me about how well kept, nice, how different this community is in positive ways. It just amazed me. And now the biggest thing is that the thing started bleeding into my real life, and that's when I kind of had to like back off and stuff like that. There were people watching my videos. When I started these videos, you can go back and watch them. I'm living in a house, and I was with somebody for a few years, and then you actually can see the breakup. And that's when I got into YouTube a little bit too much and stuff like that, because like I just had more free time and stuff. And then dated here and there, and then I've gone through a breakup again. And thanks to these YouTube videos, which is really weird, it's making me more aware of. I had people pop up going all the way back to that first video, which is not a good thing. So it's kind of wild to be sitting here talking about community around the same time that I had decided I was going to be shooting a video saying I'm going to be taking a break pretty soon. I have 3 or 4 videos in mind that I'm going to go ahead and get out, and whenever those 3 or 4 videos are gone, I'm going to be leaving the community for a little bit. Personal reasons. I've got people watching my videos that it's just inviting them into my life when I don't want them there. I've had people who can actually track when I'm home by putting these videos, and they're keeping track of what I'm doing. And that's people from the past, not anything that's gone on now that I can tell. It's just really weird when you get home from work and you go pump your gas up here at the gas station that I have up the road, and you walk out and you have an ex sitting there staring at you like this, gripping their steering wheel, and you're just trying to like walk to your car and things like that. So that's not the community. That's more like personal accountability and stuff. What do you put out there? And that's the danger of it. This community is so good, and you get so comfortable and stuff like that that you feel like you're talking to your friend. You forget other people outside of this community can watch your videos. And the things that this community and participating in this community and making these videos has brought me has been outstanding. A couple years there, and I could still do them if I start showing some interest and contact people again. But I think I have about 3 or 4 years there where I was doing panels at comic book conventions, and I was getting invited to. I got invited to speak. Was it 2 schools? I've been able to speak in front of actual schools when I was getting contracted out to do kind of like therapeutic day. It's called therapeutic day treatment with kids and stuff. I got to speak at schools about comics and the history of comics, and put on the old tie and got in front of crowds and stuff like that. I've had fans out there send me some great packages over the years, and I made sure to show my appreciation, do haul videos. And that, there's more to the community than just the people that make the videos. I've had 2 collections given to me. Very humble about them. Tried to refuse one of them and was told just to take it. By some of my friends that knew the person's situation that was giving me the collection. Just the abundance of appreciation in running. You have jobs and you have your life and you get in the rut and it's rough out there in the real world. And then all of a sudden, thanks to this hobby and stuff, you kind of have a moment there where you can put your guard down, man, and you're just sort of like, man, people are nice out there. If that makes sense. You follow me? So yeah, appreciating the community and what it is, it's changed a whole lot in the years. I really don't see it ever going back to the way it was. And that is a completely foreign concept to people who weren't here to experience what it was. You know, I mean, stuff like this, the camaraderie, the feeling of that you could send. It took a year for this to go everywhere and get it back to us. And you never had that feeling like somebody's going to keep it, somebody's going to drop the ball, you'll never see this again. Um, Stuff like that. You just had this nice little escape to go with a bunch of great people. And the sports community tag is awesome. I think it's nice to remind us that we all are a big part of a community. The thing about it is that it is so big. I've heard over the years clicks. Man, I'm still here. I'm just sucked in and listening, brother. Love hearing what you have to say, man. Oh, I appreciate it. But I had some stressful moments there, like when the community started like breaking up from what it was, and a faction would come in, and another faction would come in, and I hate using those words, but there's been words like cliques that have come in, and there's been infighting, and people raise their hands and they'll admit they've been into it and stuff, and some drama that was never here before and stuff. But the thing about it is that it is so big. It's kind of cool to have a thread going through there to remind people that it's a community, but it's got different neighborhoods. You know what I mean? I stressed it out there for a long time and stuff. And the community has turned into something that it's never been about one person or 2 people. The whole reason I got kind of personal there for a minute is to finish the thought that no matter what has gone on, what I saw is that the community, what we have is a community that has survived for 7 or 8 years while other communities have gone up and down and been abandoned and things like that. I mean, we have our ups and downs with viewers and we have our ups and downs with people coming and going. But this thing has been surviving. Um, I mean, we're getting close to a decade. That's no exaggeration. And this thing has just always been a consistent thing. The community is now a being, and we're all the cells. We're all the blood cells in there and stuff, right? So even if when I go on a hiatus, I have no problem knowing that when I come back, it's still going to be here. Now, how many things on the internet? I mean, seriously, how many things on the internet, has been like that? And it's all, in my opinion, all because it had a solid foundation going all the way back to the history lesson I gave you at the beginning of the video, where we have Captain Strangelove setting the foundation, followed by guys like CTC Spirit, Constant Bromstar, Dakin Howlett, Gene Paul's Peter, Kektai 88, and all sorts of other people who came in, and it was pure. You know what I mean? It was all about, hey, it's comic books. Let's have some fun with this and stuff. And that was the foundation. Because even if you started making videos 3 years ago, or you start making videos today, if you've watched any videos to figure out how you want to do this, or when you just approach the camera and you start doing like the videos, we were the guys that sort of figured out the rules and the presentation, and we actually came up with a lot of terminology that is used, and we came up with it organically. All right. Holy Grail, right? I think I may have been the first person to make a video talking about a Holy Grail issue, and it organically came out of talking to other people and going through there and stuff like that. The community has been so big that I've actually watched the lingo that people use and they don't even realize it came from that era, and it's spread through, and that's kind of cool and stuff like that. So it's been an honor to sit here and watch this go on. It's been kind of cool to see that this thing is still kicking and still going, and you know, I think it's personally for a lot of people who make videos and stuff, like Frost starting this thing. I was a Marvel zombie since '88. Now I've dropped all the books and reading 75% of Marvel. They're doing so well. I'm giving a new series a try. Marvel's Poisoned the Well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. The Marvel thing is really kind of taken over with the bad feelings that people have towards them, and stuff like that. And it's kind of cool to kind of go back and remember why you collect comics and stuff. I've talked about this a few times before, but like going back to the community, what you get out of it is what you put into it. You know what I mean? And how you conduct yourself and stuff, right? The one thing that's been consistent is like what Frost has done here with the support the community tag, right? Um, it's something positive he's putting out there. People are tagging each other, obviously. I mean, I got tagged and stuff, and yeah, that's the thing that has always existed in this community. There's always something positive going on, which is just amazing because we've got Marvel, as I've had in the comments and as everybody knows and talked about and stuff. Marvel is just like killing some people, with what they're doing. Yet you can come to this community and still find something positive going on. Baby Teeth and Redneck are two great indie books right now, both written by Donny Cates. Yeah, I mean, comic books do not end or begin with Marvel Comics. We are living in a time, in my opinion, you've got to dig deeper to find the good stuff that's out there now. And there's a lot of people busting their ass trying to make some good books, at least and stuff. So it's one of those things. But that's what this community can be used for, is to find the good stuff. Yeah, yeah. So that's what I mean, word of mouth with this video, with the community and stuff. I talked about this in my last video, right? So guys, that's about it. It's bound to be time for me to start getting ready for work. I haven't. Haller, check out Black Hammer if you haven't yet. Okay, yeah, I'll check out Black Hammer. I'll keep an eye out for it. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. So yeah, I've talked longer, but I probably have to get ready for work. As I'm watching this, I'm seeing the light get better, so I think the sun's about to come up. And like I said, I've been up since 3, so this is gonna be an interesting day. Yeah, Ether Prime. I was a Marvel fanboy in the '80s and Image in the '90s, right? Well, I've collected comics through '77, man, and 1977, and it has been a fantastic ride. You know what I mean? Since the comments are coming up about some of this stuff, I'm really more like into back issues, and I've seen, you gotta understand, in the '80s and '70s and '80s and '90s, there was a competition going on, and for a long time it was DC versus Marvel. Are you a DC guy or a Marvel guy? I was one of those guys who was like, I'm definitely DC, but I wasn't into the competition so heavy that I wanted to bash somebody that was a Marvel fan. You know what I mean? So I never got into it like that. It just sort of got steered towards the DC. Okay. Well, guys, considering, oh, what's this? I followed certain creators like artists and writers more than certain characters. That is an interesting way to collect. I don't want to get off track in this tag video. I'll be making, but yeah, one of the ways to really collect is to follow a writer. A lot of people want to follow a series, which is nothing wrong, or a specific character. But if you follow like a writer or an artist, they have their favorite. They used to be they would have their favorite little characters, little B or C list characters, and you could follow them from series to series, and they would bring that character in and continue their story. The biggest one was like Super Scroll with John Byrne. He did some interesting things with him in Fantastic Four and Alpha Flight and in Namor. You kind of, going by memory, if you go back to his Fantastic Four stuff, pretty sure that's where he started out, and then find the Super Scroll in Alpha Flight, and then all the way up until like 89, 90. Was that the series came out in 1990? Come out. He kind of finished up that Super Scroll story that he sort of told throughout the 80s in three different series. So that's a really cool way to collect. And there's Steve Englehart has taken Mantis from Avengers to Silver Surfer to some thinly veiled Mantis characters in some indie books or something that he did. Or was it DC? But yeah, they'll have their favorite characters, and if you follow the writers, you'll end up getting a story that you can't put together anywhere else. So it's kind of cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for Frost doing this. Tag everybody that I mentioned or in here. Yep. Yeah, Byrne Simpsons are the best in comics. John Byrne's Fantastic Four run is the best work he done, in my opinion. Yeah, there's some good stuff out there, and I'm a fan of both those guys. Actually, I just met Simonson last month at Baltimore Comic Con. There's pictures on my Facebook or Twitter. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get off here. I need to, I guess, get ready for work. It's gonna be an interesting day. I've been up since 3. Okay, guys. Okay, big props to Frost for starting the tag video. Thanks to the great legend if you made it to the end for tagging me. I had no idea this was going to go 30 minutes. So you guys have a good one, man. Later.